Okay, so earlier, Ellis, you said that you have an issue with Madam Jenna being in charge of the pain portal or whatever. But she's not going to be in charge of it. Madam Jenna, we are Madam Candy, myself, Madam Trix, and Madam Jenna are administrators who are overseeing the entire organization. We all have other tasks that we're looking after, and we're not going to be directly involved in any of the portals in that way. That's your job. That's a senior mistress's job. It's just a name. Okay. Okay. Anything else? Well, we could. We could name them after great dead leaders. Mussolini House, Mao House, Chairman Mao House, Hitler House, Stalin House, Bill Clinton House. Okay, so I actually have a direct question for, Candy, for Madam Candy. The House of Baba, yeah. Okay, the question is, what do you think of this? Because some of the reason why I thought of it this way was because of what you said in your letter, and I think I covered most of the concerns in terms of, basically, this is sort of in one fell swoop the way to cover many of the concerns that were in your letter. But I don't know. Do you think I've covered them? Do you have anything to add? Okay. Well, I think the other thing is the sorting hat actually, or the sorting system, makes it far less technically complicated than having a girl muster into a certain trade and then move on from a house and join a group and do all this crazy stuff, and then the mistresses have to write a note that says they've been trained on this thing and then they can advance to another level and all that kind of stuff. Everything has to be automated and self-paced. I think those are the two key things. In terms of
completely automated, not completely.
No. I don't mean everything. No, it isn't. It's just the gate. It's just the gate to the...
The ones who don't know where they want to go.
Right. Okay. So I'm actually going to get to that in a minute. That was my next part of my spiel here. But I want to get back to what Candy's saying. Just hang on half a sec. Hang on. I just don't want to leave her because she's in text here. I asked her the question, and I'm waiting for her answer, and she's been typing, so hang on. The mistresses need to be responsible to make sure that they've done what they're supposed to, and keep doing what they're supposed to, and you can't automate that, and I agree. And then Lovin said, why don't we just have a sorting group instead of automatic? Have them register for an appointment and then sit down and talk with them, because I think the sorting bench or the sorting hat thing is actually a really cool way to do it automatedly. And although I don't think we're going to be able to do it that way, sweetie, okay? On a person-to-person basis, because it'll just be one more thing that we have to do all the time.
in the end, it might actually be better for it just to be to tell them where to go, where should they start, like who they would be good for to go for their interests, instead of starting with a person and finding out they have completely different interests, kind of thing.
Right. So. Mm-hmm. Right, and those girls will also have an interest in pain prison, and it'll bring that to the forefront of their top-of-mind awareness of it, if you know what I mean. Because all the time, them and their sisters are going to be thinking about pain prison and femdom. That's the idea. Anyway, so with regards to what Candy's saying, I think she is more or less kind of liking what we're talking about here, and that she sees this time it should be on. Okay, so Trix, how are we, if we don't have an automated system that does this, if we don't have a sorting hat, who's going to stand up there 24/7 and do it? Oh, absolutely. And there's technical ways to do that and personal ways to do that. We can give them a note card that has the names of the girls.
The system tells them where to go and who to talk to.
It'll spew out a big long wad of stuff into their chat that basically says, here are the sisters in your house. Here are your leaders in your house. Paste this into a note card and save it, or it'll give them a note card. They're already going to have a lot of stuff to point them in the right direction. And they're going to have we can even actually make 4-house websites. Maybe that'll work. And if they touch their,
or at least
their brand,
page.
If they touch their thing, it'll go to their house website for one of their 4 houses. But again, I understand technology doesn't help you. Okay, technology doesn't make it happen. Technology doesn't put your hand in their hand and have you sit down with them and talk with them. And right now I'm not using technology. Well, I am actually. I'm using a lot of technology to convey the message that I'm talking about right now. You know, I'm using the technology, but I'm still communicating with you guys one-on-one right here, right now. You know, I totally agree that they should be taken by the hand the instant that they graduate. But there's a chance that none of their sisters and none of their dominants will be on that run that house at that exact moment. But now they're part of a group. There is work involved, yeah. But there's the point right there. I want to make a quick point. The point is the girls who sign up for Ellis's stuff are the girls who came to us wanting to be fucking rubber slaves and be used and abused and yelled at and screamed at in the first place. So now they're in a house, in a place where they're going to love what they get. They are begging for this shit. Now, a girl who just joined up to be a fashion model with a collar on her neck and be pretty all the time is not going to want that same stuff. But when she sees Ty, she's going to say, Ty is strong and powerful and beautiful and speaks 7 languages. Wow, that's who I want to be. That's the kind of person I want to be. That's why I want to be part of her house. And that's why I want to be part of the French and Italian and Spanish portal. Those are the Latin lovers, the Latin beauties, the Latin gorgeous, the language, the romance, all that kind of stuff. That's what I want. I want to drive around in a Ferrari. I don't care if I have a collar around my neck and wear Gucci shoes. That's cool to me. Meanwhile, Alice's girls are rolling around in a pile of shit because that's what they want. But that's exactly it. And if you think of Harry Potter, Slytherin house were the guys who were into potions and dark magic and black stuff and nasty things and all the bad things on the dark side of magic, right? And that's where they went. And all of the Slytherin guys ended up killing themselves or in jail or, whatever. Right. But you see what I'm saying? Is the houses give them more traction in their particular particular wants and likes. And you can yell at your girls, Ellis. If you want to scream and yell at your girls, they're there because that's what they wanted. Well, Alice, you're saying you need to be stricter overall, and what I'm saying is the different houses will have their own level of strictness and their own kinks and fetishes. That's right. And I'll even use another analogy from Harry Potter. When a kid who was not from Slytherin House came upon the headmaster of Slytherin House, he was shit his pants because he knew what a nasty guy the head of Slytherin House was, even though he wasn't part of Slytherin House. And if you were caught by that guy, your punishment would probably be more severe than if you were caught by the chick from one of the other houses. Snape or whatever. Right. Okay? And so many people are familiar with that, and I'm stealing several pages from Harry Potter here, but Harry Potter is based on a real, true sorority or house type system in many school systems around the world, where there's boarding schools and live-in schools. And let's face it, what does a sorority do? What a sorority does is it puts people with a common interest together. So you go to Harvard University, and there's a house, and it's Argentine House, and it's all Argentinian kids who have millionaire mummies and daddies who have sent them to Harvard University and paid $750,000 for a quarter of or half a year. And those guys all get their beer shipped from Argentine, and they get Argentinian beef, and they get Argentinian everything shipped to them, and they all live in one house, and they all get to speak Spanish. Okay, so one quick thing on dominant interactions. Okay, go ahead. Well said. I have no problem with that. And there is a certain amount of familiarity that we can have here, and a certain amount of respect. Well, I think, Trix, that there is a certain amount of chain of command type stuff that has to go on, because the dominants are going to make decisions, and the decisions, the final decisions, like it or not, need to be followed, and the underlings or the subordinate dominants can't go just willy-nilly and start doing stuff themselves. They have to take orders, follow orders, and get the job done. Okay. No, I understand what you're saying. Okay. So, do we have any other? Thank you, Alice. Okay, so do we have anything else that we want to add? What needs to be resolved? Of course you do. Of course you expect it to be followed. Okay. Well, we're delving into personal preferences and okay. Well, there, Alice, I have to disagree with you in some areas because BDSM does not necessarily mean all whips and chains. All of what we do here is BDSM. These girls are submitting. Some are treated like beloved pets, and others are treated like sex slaves, and others are treated like severe bondage bitches. And so everyone has their own likes and dislikes. Everyone has their own ways. And the confusing thing is that changes by the frickin' minute. People are moody. They come in one day, they want to get beat on. The next day, they want to be coddled and loved and kissed and hugged. Right. And, I mean, I can use Lovin and Bree as an example. The two of them have a very, very loving and kind and generous and wonderful and funny and wonderful relationship with each other. But Bree is clearly, clearly, clearly the submissive. And I think, and she's very, very respectful and really wonderful with Lovin. And I think, and I'm just saying that is not a whipping, tie-down BDSM relationship, although Bridget does wear a collar and a chastity belt. I think you can. I think you can be a soft dom and still be strict. I think I'm pretty strict. I think I don't take a lot of shit. I think I have to work with committees and with people all the time. But I'm not a super, super hard dom. Right. And I think people respect me. I think they respect what we've all built here, and that I've been able to manage this group in one shape or another since 2007. A lot of people want to be a part of what we have here. And here we are making it even better. We're still moving on and we're still making it better. And I think that's very, very important.